Gulam strikes again. Gulam is a social media account, to be specific, on Twitter, on X. If I was a politician, I'd be hating that account because nobody who knows who it is. You know, it's like the Mzegezege of politics. Some people think it's actually Mzegezege who's behind that account. It's been reported so many times. People have been trying to figure out who that person is because it always exposes scandals. It exposes politicians. Some people are saying it's other politicians from other factions or from other political parties. They use that account to smear campaign other politicians or other parties. I don't know. I'm not a politician. I'm merely a social commentator. And the latest tweet or the latest X post that Gulam has just posted reads as follows. I'm going to put the link of the tweet in the description so you can click on it and go check it out yourself. But this is what they wrote. I don't know if it's a she, it's a he, it's an it, it's a her, it's a him. I don't know. But yeah, I guess how politics goes. They've got a picture of our President Ramaphosa at last week's inauguration, you know, raising his hand, being inaugurated. And then they posted, the crooks in that ANC don't care about anything but looting, plundering, and destroying. They don't care the party has dropped to 40%. They just are after tenders. That's all. President Cyril Ramaphosa is stuck between a rock and a hard place. The crooks don't want to give up the DTI because of a very, very lucrative LOTTO tender, which will soon come up. It's the most lucrative tender in South Africa. I feel for Ramaphosa. He's trying his best to put South Africa and its people first. But the criminals in that ANC just don't care. Pray for Ramaphosa. He's trying his best. And that's not the only thing Gulam posted this morning. I'm also going to read another post that Gulam has posted. Gulam doesn't play and is not afraid. The Government of National Unity update. The ANC has allegedly changed an approved deal with the DA. After confirming the 6 cabinet seats for the DA, it suddenly took away the powerful and strategic Department of Trade and Industry and replaced it with tourism. This for the DA is a deal breaker. Hopefully the master tactician, President Ramaphosa, urgently intervenes and resolves this. I still have faith that we will have a GNU that includes the ANC, the DA, the IFP, and others. That's another post, Yaga Gulam. I'm going to read the third one. In the voice of Fabrizio Romano, here we go. Government of National Unity, led by President Cyril Ramaphosa, which includes the ANC, the DA, the IFP, and others, is here. Glory days are ahead of South Africa and its people. Cheaper petrol, cheaper cost of living. What a time to be alive. Leaders Ramaphosa. Do you think this account, maybe it's the president behind this account? What do you think? Do you think it's our president, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa himself, behind this account? Do you think maybe it's Mzegezege? Do you think maybe it's Patrice Motsepe? Or do you think it's an ally of President Ramaphosa? What do you think? Everybody always talks about this account because it trends every week. And now I've just recently started following it since I think about late last year towards the electioneering and the campaigning of the elections. And I just started following this account. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to read the fourth one. So I'll stop at 5. But the fourth one goes, big Government of National Unity update. A deal is finally on the table between the ANC and the DA. The I's are being dotted and the T's are being crossed. It's definite. DA has settled for the 5 or 6 ministerial positions. Paul Mashatile will remain your deputy president. DA will control your key trade and industry ministry. The GNU led by President Cyril Ramaphosa includes ANC, DA, IFP, and others. It is here. Leaders Ramaphosa. obviously the account keeps writing that every time. And then I'm going to read the last one. The rest, you're just going to have to go follow the account yourself. And by the way, I'm not promoting any account. I just do social commentary and I post videos, and I'm a content creator. All right, let me post the 5th one. The rest you will read for yourself. Panyaza Lesufi's Nasi Spani has collapsed. They attached a letter there. I think it is an email that was sent by Khululekile Mase or Mese, acting head of Department Agriculture, Rural Development and Environment. The letter reads, this is me before reading the post. Gulam. This is the letter that Gulam has attached. It's got a Gauteng Province Agriculture and Rural Development letterhead. Dear EPWP participants, the communique serves to remind you regarding the contractual agreement that came to an end on the 31st of May 2024. Furthermore, you are informed that you will receive payment for the days worked during the month of June 2024. Please note that there will be a delay regarding your payments for the stipends for the month of June due to the administrative and systematic processes that have to be followed after the contractual agreement came to an end on the 31st of May 2024. We apologize for any inconvenience. That's what the letter reads that has been attached by Gulam. But Gulam's post with this attachment goes, Panyaza Lesufi's Nasi Spani has collapsed. We told you it was just electioneering from him and will not be sustainable. We said immediately after the elections it will completely collapse. We were what? Oh, we were called names. We were blocked by Panyaza Lesufi. We were all correct though. Said for the youth though that Lesufi used them for his own political gains. And let me also read the response from Mr. Panyaza Lesufi to that post, because as soon as that account posts stuff, positive or negative, some politicians, and shout outs to people like Panyaza who will then respond and openly engage, because other politicians, they just block their account and keep it moving. They never want to engage. Mr. Panyaza Lesufi responded to that post and said, someone is too excited. This letter was written without my consent or approval. The intentions are clear: to undermine the authority of the 7th administration. This will not be allowed. And then Panyaza Lesufi posted another post with a lot of the pictures of the Amapanyaza wearing their green uniforms. And then he said, this is after he has posted this response. This one he posted it this morning. He says, we are going nowhere. Basically meaning the Amapanyaza are going nowhere. There's confusion about the EPWP Green Army contracts and the continued employment of the Gauteng traffic wardens. The EPWP Green Army are here, or army, they are mandated to clean our environment and waste removal, while the Gauteng traffic warden are protecting us against crime. The EPWPs are going nowhere. So that's why I always say to people, guys, you must always do your own research, because there's always a lot of misinformation out there. And even if you follow some content creators, you can never know. Sometimes maybe they are being paid, sometimes they are bought, sometimes they are spreading false narratives, sometimes maybe they are not paid, they're just controlling their own narratives. They also maybe behind the scenes belong to a certain political faction, right? So us as content creators, it's always advised, us as content consumers, especially politics, actually in anything, I always advise people to go out there and do their own research. Don't believe anything you read or hear or find online as far as African spirituality is concerned, as far as business is concerned, as far as dating, relationships and marriage are concerned, as far as politics is concerned, as far as anything is concerned. Do your own research. I know we sometimes fall in love with certain content creators or certain accounts and we follow them, and we get interested in some of their posts, some of their content, some of their videos, but it's not always gospel truth. So make sure you go out there and do your own research. Now myself, I'm not that much knowledgeable in politics, but older as I've become over the years, especially since these elections, I've started getting more and more interested in politics because it guides the future of our country. Only now I understand what they meant when they were electioneering and saying 2024 is our 1994. Our authority nota came on Monday on the Hustlers Corner podcast and said, no, stop taking it 30 years back. Take it 100 years back. This 2024 elections, they are so similar to the 1924 elections when the South African Party and the Labour Party, and I forgot what the third political party was then, they formed a coalition government under the leaderships of the likes of Abu Jan Smart, Nabo Pere Herzog. I mean, we still have those roads. We drive around those roads almost every day here in Johannesburg, but we also don't know the history. So go research, go learn, go listen to that podcast where Nota was talking about our 2024 being actually our 1924, because that's the administration that ruled, I think, for 20-something years, which led to the forming of apartheid in 1948. That was the base of the Afrikaner community being empowered by the leadership of Mr. Pere Herzog, who was intentional about empowering his own community, the Afrikaner community. Black people at the time, they were not allowed to vote. I think you could only be allowed to vote if you were a property owner. And then obviously, so many of them were so empowered that 1948, the apartheid started for the natives. Which I found that episode in itself very, very interesting. And I want to shout out Nota for taking us 100 years back instead of us starting from 1994. It seems as if like we've just been so brainwashed to sort of believe that our history starts from the Rainbow Nation in 1994. Our history starts from 1654 when Jan van Riebeeck set his foot here. Can't you know? Our history goes all the way back to the 1500s, the 1400s, the 1000s, the millions of years and years and years and years and years ago. So always be smart about this social indoctrination or social conditioning by the media and mainstream media especially, and using these words but end up sticking our minds, hey, Rainbow Nation, hey, 2024 is our 1994. Nota came and broke that mindset and said to me, no, big homie, come on, go 100 years back. You're even older than me. You should be knowing your history. Stop looking at history as something that just only happened now in 1994 coming this way. And stop using words like Abo Rainbow Nation, words like about government of national, anything or any words that get used repeatedly by the mainstream media, you must just know behind the scenes that is social programming or indoctrination taking place. Food for thought. You do the dishes. Danko.